Hello, welcome to Education Forum. I'm Maureen Babide, and I'm always honored to bring you all the trends and developments in the education sector. Now, as we all know, we are in the atmosphere of assessment around this time of the year in Uganda. According to UNEB, over 1.2 million candidates will be assessed this year across all three series of examinations. The first one being the Uganda Certificate of Education, O-Level, the second series being Primary Leaving Examinations, and the third being Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education. But today we'll be focusing on PLE, which is going to be held from November 7th to 9th, starting with briefing of candidates. I'm honored to be here at Global Junior School, where I'll be engaging different administrators, teachers, and candidates as they tell us how prepared they are for the forthcoming assessment. Stay tuned as we talk to all of them. I'm glad to be joined by the head teacher of Global Junior School, Mukono. He'll be taking us through how prepared they are as a school for the primary leaving examinations of 2023. You're welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Omulongo Kato Anthony Sentongo, the only head teacher at Global Junior School Mukono. I'm glad to be part of this show as we are preparing our candidates for this year's primary leaving examinations. This is their first formal examination. So it requires a lot on the side of the children. They are at the tender age. They have never experienced a national examination. It is their first time. Yes. It is not like a senior 4, senior 6 where they had an encounter with the examination. So we need a lot of preparations for them. We need to manage the anxiety that surrounds the examinations. And obviously, as the curriculum requires for primary leaving examinations. Yes. Now, for this primary leaving examinations 2023, how many candidates are sitting at Global Junior School? We are having 253 candidates, of whom 104 are girls. Ooh, that's then 149 are boys. So we are ready, and I think we are so much in line to produce and give out golden results. That is a very big achievement. That is quite a big number, but we are very much sure that we can achieve our goals and objectives in that. Okay, now as the head teacher, how prepared is your staff in terms of organizing the students to, harvest the best possible results? It's quite challenging. We are talking about examinations, but we are also looking at the 7 years of a child in primary. The curriculum, what are the teachers have been engaging in. This is the foundation of education to a child. We need to lay a very good foundation for the future education. If the foundation is not very okay, then their education as they progress in life becomes a bit limited. So at the primary level, we are a bit broad, bringing out the clear picture of the education journey of our children. So the curriculum is so much effective rather than subjective. We need to prepare the emotional well-being of children as they are growing. We need to prepare their social life as they are progressing. So apart from this content, the knowledge, the subjects that we are giving them, we need to lay a very good foundation for how these kids are supposed to progress. Now we are coming to this time where we are presenting the formal examinations, the formal content. That is the only portion that we are supposed to be preparing for. But we have a number of experiences, the number of elements that we have taken these kids through. And I think the teachers have done their best, and we have an all-around curriculum at primary level that we have prepared our kids for. At this moment of time, we are now concentrating so much on this formal part. One, it is the first of its kind with the kids. We are very much sure that the content that they are supposed to have, they already have it. But now is to prepare them on how they can present the knowledge they have to UNEB. That is the biggest task. So the biggest task now that is ahead is managing anxiety and telling children what they are supposed to be going through during this examination. A lot has been said, registration, guidelines, rules and regulation, examinations, whatever. Now those are only things that we are battling with. But as far as content, knowledge, everything is now set.
They seem very well equipped, as I spoke with them earlier, and your teachers seem very well prepared too.
Yeah.
But speaking of anxiety, as the head of the institution, how do you oversee? How do you oversee that they implement these methods of calming these students down in case they're scared?
Okay. Actually, for our case, we have been having a very serious program with them as they are learning. Apart from this content we give them in class, we talk about so much of life, because this education must be effective. It must affect someone's way of living. It must not affect the way someone sees the knowledge, but how the knowledge is important to that child. So we start preparing these kids the moment they come to a candidate class. Emotionally, psychologically, we build step by step. When somebody says, how prepared are you? It's as if it is 1 week or 2 days we are preparing children. It has been a process of preparing. Now these kids are seeing examination as part of their lives. If you talk about examination when you are remaining with 1 week, 2 weeks. So one thing we normally do is making examinations part of their lives. And the instance of examination is not to reprimand them, but to check their abilities and capabilities for improvement. So we have exposed these kids to this kind of examination, not for the purposes of passing, but for the purposes of broadening their understanding, the way they see knowledge, how they are supposed to use knowledge in order to affect positively their lives. So it has been a process, and the examination is now part of them. We have so many types of examination. There are some oral, there are some written. So we have been engaging kids. So for us now, we are a bit ready because we didn't start tomorrow. We started them immediately. They came to a candidate class, and I think we are very much ready for that.
Okay.
Yes,
that's very reassuring for our viewers when they hear you say that. Now, on the other note, how does UNEB does UNEB engage different schools towards the does UNEB engage schools in preparation for the primary living examinations? Have you heard from them?
Now, every year, UNEB has a program of having and preparing these candidates for examinations. There are a number of stakeholders who are engaged in that, in the preparations by UNEB, starting with the ministry, the local, whatever, education departments. They are all taken through of what is required. More especially talking about the curriculum. How does UNEB understand the curriculum? Is it in line with what the schools are seeing the curriculum with? They explain so much of what is required. As we are trying to assess these kids, what are we assessing our kids? So periodically they sensitize through the ministry on what is required of the curriculum and what is required of the teachers to do with that. That is the first phase. So as teachers are teaching, as they are engaging children in the classroom, we are so much in line with what does the curriculum require, because that's where UNEB sets the examinations from. So that sensitization about the curriculum, proper follow-up of the curriculum, the UNEB people do that.
Is it only school administrators or teachers are invited to join as well?
There are a number of stakeholders. Now, if you are engaging head teachers, if you are engaging heads of department, if you are engaging directors of studies, if you are engaging the inspectorate department in our local areas, that is how the chain of information flows. But we have never had directly UNEB coming in schools to talk about the curriculum.
They invite you.
They invite us.
Okay.
They pass their information. These days now we are having the online connection. So we are ever on our portals checking what does UNEB want, what is it required that we are supposed to be doing. That's how we are connected. But physically in schools, they go through stakeholders, and I think we are in line with what is required of them.
As the head teacher of Global Junior School Mukono, what are your expectations in regards to performance?
Thank you so much for that question. My role as a head teacher is to lead the teachers, to help our candidates achieve their educational goals. And for the years I have served as the head teacher, and for the years I have been in the teaching profession, my aim has always been having the best performance with our children. And I have a very good track record. I have mastered the art of the curriculum. We understand what the curriculum requires. We are expecting golden results. And not only those results, because the results are already with us. You know, with this primary education, you don't need to wait for primary examination to gauge to what extent can your children achieve. It has been a process, and we have seen a number of transformations among our children. And we are so proud of what they have achieved so far. So the results are already with us because we have seen it happen with our children. We have seen them transform the way they reason, the way they see the environment, they will see everything. So excellence is always with us. So this examination, primary evening examination, is just going to be sugar in the tea. Okay. But the tea is already prepared. And we cannot see tea and we think that sugar is not going to make a tea. So we are waiting for results, and I'm so much hopeful that even other teachers within other schools, they have done their best. Yeah. And you have always heard when these results are released after these examinations, the performance has always been good. So I want to congratulate all my fellow other teachers and the schools for the work well done. Because every year you see that the performance is coming up, and that is the global aim and objective of education. Our children excelling in terms of results and in terms of the way children are seeing education. That is a very big achievement for us as educationists. So I congratulate, and the results and the performance are just ahead of us. Yeah.
I'm glad to be joined by one of the teachers at Global Junior School. He's also a science coordinator. He'll be introducing himself and telling us more about his role. You're welcome.
Thank you, madam.
Please introduce yourself to the viewers and what you do.
Okay, the UBC viewers, I'm glad to join you. My name is Musisi Ahmed. I'm one of the teachers of Global Junior School. At the same time, coordinator, science subject, primary 7. I'm glad to join you, and I think we are going to share with you something. Thank you for enjoying and tuning in for UBC for this program.
And thank you so much for joining us. My very first question will be, is science hard?
Science is not a hard subject. It is a simple subject as long as you do whatever you are supposed to do. What teachers teach you, follow up in class, and even being somebody with a good attitude towards it. So you may find it very simple, but if you are having a negative attitude on it, you don't pay attention in class, you don't do the assignments which are given to you, of course you'll find it hard, but it's a simple subject to go by.
Speaking of assignments and all that, as it is, we're approaching the season of examinations, the primary leaving examinations. How prepared are you as a science teacher? What has been your strategy to prepare your students for this forthcoming examination?
Yeah, we make sure that we have taught children fully the syllabus which they are supposed to cover as far as primary is concerned. Basically, because by the time they reach primary 7, we have assured that they have covered whatever they are supposed to cover in the previous classes. Then we embark on hours in primary 7. We make sure that we teach them fully everything they are supposed to cover. We give them regular assessments, and then we even evaluate what they have done, such that we see how they are progressing. So we have done all that, and I would think that we have done exactly what you are supposed to do.
Are you confident you've done everything and these people are going to excel highly?
Yes, I can say that we are very confident, but of course you also don't leave God's aside.
Of course.
We are very confident with that. Putting God alongside our way, we shall be able to maneuver very well what we are planning these candidates to do.
I'm so much interested in the strategy you're using to, do the final touches with your candidates. Are there any unique things you're doing? Because they cannot be preparing the same as primary 5 students that are going to sit for maybe their end of year. So
Yes.
what's the different technique you're using to prepare them?
Yeah, we make sure that we have, like I've told you, we complete the syllabus in time. After completing it in time, we give them a variety of tests. We can give them once in a week, twice in a week. We assess them. We do a lot of practical work, like even group work. These children are grouped and then they discuss. Then we, alongside the teachers as they are guiding them. So basically, we do a lot, like even we carry out some quizzes to see that these children are up to the level we expected them to be. Yeah.
How do you deal with, students cannot be the same. There are fast learners and maybe those ones that catch on later after the fast learners. How do you pick these students out and make sure they're at par with the fast learners?
Yes, here we are privileged at Global Junior School that we group these learners according to ability. We have the fast learners, we have the mediocres, and then the slow learners. So they are all grouped according to their ability. So you'll be able to go to a stream of those fast learners. They take different work at a different pace. So that one helps us to look at those ones who are like the mediocres. When you go there, the pace reduces. But we make sure that what you have given the fast learners, even the mediocres get, the same applies to the slow takers. The only difference is the time we use. Because if you try to mix them, you will not achieve what you want.
That's true.
So you just see, we try to group them according to their abilities. You give them different work because what you give for fast learners may not be what you are supposed to give for a mediocre to achieve what you want. But at the end of that day, we make sure that the targets we have set, we make sure that we reach them at the end of the period in which we are teaching these children.
That's interesting. Now, as we all know, in this day and age, science is the future. Now, in Uganda today, government is investing so much more into science projects.
Yes, please.
Do you think in primary, a student has what it takes to embark on a science journey through secondary school and to university level? Do you think the fundamentals lie here, and why?
Yes, I think so, because primary, basically, it is a foundation for all what these children go through in secondary. So we make sure that we give them a strong foundation as far as the science subject is concerned. We do some practical work, the agriculture, we have a school garden, we have the farm the other side, they go, they learn some of those skills such that even if a child drops out of school, can go and then earn a living somewhere. Child can look after the animals, children learn skills of farming, and very many other things. We carry out a lot of things which can help these children looking after the environment, make sure that we conserve it, because those are the skills which have actually destroyed most of our country. People are destroying the swamps and other things. So if children move away with the skills such that they can conserve for the future generation, I think those are the gist of the things which are supposed to be done up there, such that even the future generation can sustain life. So we have done a variety of that. Children, I think the key thing is children getting those competencies such that they can live in the future and the future life, such that even if a child drops out of school at senior 1, senior 2, that person is able to live and then he gets a livelihood.
Okay, that's very interesting. And the other question I wanted to ask you on, in terms of the examination, the setting of the exam, the
Yes,
UNEB, the PLE,
yes.
from your experience, how far deep do they go? Do they go as low as do they set from as low as primary 1, primary 2, or primary 3? Where do they start going up?
For primary level exams, those people set a balanced examination. They look at all the levels from primary 1, basically. Maybe the other part of pre-primary, they may leave it because the other is just training a child to fit in school. Yes. But from primary up to primary 7, a lot of those things, they are covered and they are balanced. But for a child to pass very well, a child must have learned very well that work of middle primary, primary 5, primary 4, and then primary 6, in order to maneuver very well in any subject. For example, the science subject, you may find that the primary 7 work, the percentage is not too much, but at least middle primary, primary 4, 5, and then 6. If a child gets that work very well and it gets in the brain, the child can be able to get the right grade and then passes, which can get with the flying colors. So the primary leaving examination, they set balanced papers, and we think that all the classes are reflected there.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you have any students that have nervous breakdowns towards the, the
Nervous
PLE?
breakdown?
Yes, where people that are scared. Maybe how do you deal with those students, if any, by any chance?
Our children, we have tried to talk to them, and they have done several sets of exams. So I don't think at this time there's any child who has an examination fever, because we always tell them, these are the very papers, this is the very work they are going to ask you, the work we are teaching in class, the work we are doing in classwork, the work we are doing in weekend work, this is the very exams. So they have been exposed to a variety of exams, so that fear of exams, like a child who might be maybe in a village that is exposed to the paper at maybe once or twice in the term. These ones now, they have developed that confidence and they don't have that. Actually, they are very ready for the examination.
That's reassuring.
Very ready.
Well, that is all we had for you with our science coordinator from Global Junior. Thank you so much for your time and success in
You're
your
welcome.
in
Thank
your
you for
preparations. Thank you. Back to our viewers, we'll be interviewing a few other teachers as well from different departments, and to see how prepared they are in their various subjects with their students. Stay tuned. I'm joined by one of the class coordinators at Global Junior School and a math teacher also. He will be taking us through his role at this school and how prepared he is for the forthcoming examination. You're welcome.
Thanks so much, Maureen. My name is Okore Jacob. I am the coordinator of the candidate class at Global Junior School, but I also teach mathematics subject. So my role as a coordinator is spelled in the word coordinator. Okay. So I coordinate all the activities of the candidate class, ranging from the academics in the classroom, the meals, dormitories, everything that makes the candidate class tick is all revolving around me.
Okay, so you're the guy that finishes the job.
Yes,
Everything
please.
That's needed, they come to you.
Yes, please.
That's interesting. Now,
Yes.
as a math teacher, please tell us, is math hard? There's this notion that math is actually hard. You have to go through all this paying attention. Is it that hard?
No, mathematics is not hard.
Okay.
It depends on how you present it to the children. Is a subject can do like any other subject, like English, or can even do it better. But depends on how prepared are you as a teacher to present it to the learners and how you deliver it to them. So as Global Junior School, there are a few things we do to make mathematics simpler to the candidates. One of them is we look at mathematics as a subject that has to be done practically. That is one, has to be taught practically. Number two, we teach it in a playful way. It's not something that is meant for very serious people all the time.
Okay.
So they should be fun amidst learning.
How do you make it fun? In my time, I don't remember It being
Yeah,
fun, one bit.
Part of the fun that we do is we can have simpler ways of getting the type of numbers we learn in mathematics.
Okay.
We can give simpler ways of memorizing multiplication tables, which make it very, very, very funny. So that's what we do. We can do it like we're making it fun. I can give different numbers to different people, and they arrive at the same answer. So once they arrive at the same answer with different numbers, that is already fun. You will find a class bursting into laughter because of that magical way of arriving at the same answer.
I can imagine that. Now, with the forthcoming primary leaving examinations,
Yes.
how prepared are you?
As Global Junior School, we are very, very prepared. Why am I saying so? We finish the syllabus early. By the time we end term 2, we are done with teaching the P7 syllabus. We begin revision when we start term 3. And in term 3, children are exposed to very many questions, very many papers to write to develop their confidence. In as Global Junior School, we set our exams and the papers we use look like exactly like UNEB. So as we speak, we've done more than 20 tests. That one is enough to create confidence in them. Number 2, we also have participatory booklets. So these children have done all the examinations that have been done by the previous candidates, and they feel they're able to excel. Why? In those previous PLE papers, they're able to score 100 in mathematics. They are scoring 99, 97.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I remember us using the same technique as well. There were UNEB questionnaires. You
Yes,
had to
please.
purchase from years way back, and then you had to go through and
Yes.
see how ready you are. And
Yes.
speaking of assessment, how do you assess, for example, your coordinator for the finalist class, primary
Yes,
7?
please.
How do you assess these students? Because now they're coming to the end of the year
Yes.
and they're preparing. Do you pump them with tests, morning prep, night prep? Do you give them weekly tests? I don't know. How do you guys do it?
We do a variety. We don't only do academics, but we also have time for fun.
Okay.
So we test them in a week. We can write 2 or 3 tests, but we also have time to relax. For example, a Sunday is a free day. They are free. They don't do academics on a Sunday.
So they have time to
But
refresh.
Yes. Then we have morning preps, yes, even evening preps. But in those preps and during the day, we can write papers, yes. We can also do group work,
Yes.
and that's child-to-child learning. There's something you may not understand from the teacher, but a friend can explain to you and you understand better.
Yes.
So for mathematics, that's what we are doing. Much as mathematics is a hands-on subject, you need to be doing work practically. So we give them the chance to do a number of questions that help them to understand what UNEB requires from them.
Speaking of understanding, do you have any cases of a scenario where there's fast learners and students that catch on later after the fast learners? How do you deal with them? For example, in that particular sense, how do you deal with the slow learners?
Thank you so much. As Global Junior School, we group children according to their abilities.
Okay.
Those who are very fast have their particular classrooms where they go to. And we use names. The best stream is ostrich. Second one is parrot. Third
So you
is...
name your streams
Yes.
in according to birds?
Yes,
Bird names?
yes. So the idea behind that is put you in a room where you are taught at a pace you can understand.
Okay.
So the last streams are taught at a lower pace. We can even repeat for them a concept for them to understand. Once they have understood, they can compete with anybody at the end of it all. So in those classrooms, we teach slowly, we keep repeating the work for them, and then we teach from simple things to harder things. We begin teaching you the foundation in a simple way. After understanding, we go to the next harder thing. So by the time we reach the harder concept, you're able to grasp it. Yes.
I really appreciate that kind of teaching where you group students according to their abilities. It helps them fit in and feel comfortable.
Yeah, a
But
moment,
also,
maybe before you go to that question. Another thing, in the classes where children are weak, we have one sitting teacher per subject,
yes.
whereby a child has a chance to go and ask the teacher at any free time. They consult the teachers. A teacher can have one-on-one per child, so the child is helped as an individual.
That is reassuring for any parent watching out there and anyone that would want to bring their child here. But also, on the other note, when during these groupings of students according to abilities, doesn't it cause stigma around it? Don't they maybe think, oh, we're not good enough, maybe that stream has all the smart students? How do you make them confident to know that, oh, we can, this is who we are, and we can work towards greatness?
Thank you so much for that question. We are in October now. To answer that question very well, as we speak, when we produce a general mark sheet for the whole class, there are a number of children in the last stream who can beat a child in the best stream as we speak now.
Okay.
Because it's all about understanding. These children whom you assume that they are weak, they just need time to be explained something and different approaches. Once they have understood, they can compete with anybody. And this is also in our records, even purely records. Every year, we have a child in the last stream beat someone in the best stream. So there's nothing like they feel inferior, no. They are encouraged to work hard, and when you write tests, they are able to know how the other streamers perform and how they are performing. As we speak now, the people score 90s in the mathematics in the last stream. And we have 100s also, of course, in the best streams, but the performance is almost similar.
By third term, they've already called.
Yes,
anyway.
please. Yes, please.
Okay, so please tell us, as a coordinator of the primary 7 class, in cases where they're admitting students and you get maybe students that are coming into upper primary, that is primary 5 upward, and they're joining into your P7,
Yes.
how do you handle their intellect? For example, they come from different backgrounds, they're not nurtured from global. I believe you have students that have started here from nursery to primary 7, and you have a certain criteria and you're confident in them because you've nurtured them from ground up. How do you ease these other students that join in midway? How do you ease them into your system, and how do you make them be at your level, your standard?
Thanks so much, Maureen, for that question. Now, we usually receive children in candidate class, but the first thing is they have to pass our interviews. So once a child passes the interviews, then they are admitted, and then we talk to them, welcome to the class and be settled. But as we learn, we do what we call child study. We understand that child, if we discover knowledge gaps, a teacher has a responsibility of reteaching what the child has missed. And on top of that, we are in COVID era. Some of these students, from wherever they come from, they could have skipped a class.
Sure.
Once we discover there is a class a child missed, we go and reteach concepts of that class once we are done with the syllabus early. So that it's not only that candidate benefiting, even others will benefit. So we have time when we can reteach work for primary 5, we summarize for the candidates, primary 6 work, primary 4 work, so that all the knowledge gaps are filled. And this year we have some of them, and as we speak, they're already comfortable in the class and they're performing very well.
Have you cited out those assured 4 in 4s? You know, have you cited, how do you cite out those students, the ones you're really confident in, and what do you base on?
Okay. See, when you're setting examinations, we have 3 levels we look at in primary exams. We have knowledge questions, we have comprehension questions, and we have application questions. Now, for a child who can score aggregate 4, we always test them on application questions. For mathematics, we usually have a minimum of 2 numbers. We can go more than that. But those questions are testing reasoning, interpretation of the question, understanding of how to apply that knowledge in the day-to-day living. So when a child is able to pass 3 or 4 questions in every paper, such children always score 90 and above. with such a child, we are confident the child is able to score aggregate 4. On top of that, for us as Global Junior School, for preparation, our distinction 1 is at 95 for all subjects.
Okay.
So if a child is able to get aggregate 4 with our grading, we are confident in her getting
That's
aggregate
true.
4.
That's pretty high.
For this year, we are seeing a number of children able to score that aggregate.
Okay.
Yes, as we speak.
Very beautifully said by the math coordinator at Global Junior. That is all we had for you with the lovely gentleman. Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you success in your papers with your candidates, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Maureen.
Thank you so much. To our viewers, we're still interviewing a few other teachers to know how prepared they are as well with their students and their subjects. Please stay tuned as we bring you this and more. I'm joined by one of the teachers here at Global Junior School who will be telling us his role as well and how prepared he is for the forthcoming final exam. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm teacher Kisra Ezekiel.
Okay.
I teach social studies, primary 7.
Okay. Now, when someone hears social studies, could you break it down to the viewer somewhere there that could want to know what social studies entails?
Yeah, social studies in a primary curriculum, we start from P1. In P1, we teach them about our home. P2, we go to our school. P3, we go to our sub-county. P4, we go to our district. P5, our Uganda, the nation. Then primary 6, we talk about East Africa as a region. Then primary 7, we talk about Africa as a whole.
So that's like the entire syllabus.
Yeah, the entire
of the
syllabus
primary
of the
level.
primary, yeah.
Okay, that brings me to the next question, which is how prepared are you? How are you preparing your students to get those distinctions out of your subject?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, this year we want to term it our year because we have prepared these learners. Just as I've told you about the entire curriculum, we have prepared learners right from the content of P1. Because when UNEB, when they are setting these examinations, it's the entire 7 years. So we have taught the whole syllabus, we have covered the whole of it, leaving no stone unturned. And so, whatever way it comes, our children are very ready. In addition to covering the syllabus, we are now revising, we are uncovering, we are reminding them whatever they might have forgotten, so that no matter the condition, no matter which angle they will use to test, we shall be there. Yeah.
Take us through your relationship with your students. For example, in primary, this is where they study all these things, basic knowledge, their community, their country, where they come from. Do you feel this sense of acknowledgement in your class when you teach them? Because much as we're preparing for the final exam, they need to understand their cultures, where they come from, who we are as Black people, our history. Do they get it? Or are they too young to get it?
No, it is always right to prepare. Actually, the right age of learning should be when you're young. So putting in the sense of nationalism into these children should start from the basics, right from P1. As we sing the anthems of the school, we are promoting patriotism at the school level. When we sing the national anthem, we are promoting nationalism at the largest of the country. So we put in every lesson we go to, when you're going to class, you have attitudes, you have skills. There are very many things that in the same lesson as you're giving it out, you are developing these things in the learners. So we relate with learners, actually in our teaching, we make sure that we create an environment that is so friendly for the learners to adapt to the culture, to adapt to the way the teacher gives the content, to be friendly in a way that it is very easy for a learner to interact with you, ask you where he or she has not understood, so that you can sincerely make this learner feel the purpose as to why he's in school.
Okay.
Yeah, so we relate with them,
On a personal
just as you
level?
see our environment, we make sure that it is like home. Yeah.
Because earlier, when I spoke to one of your colleagues, he mentioned that every teacher teaches one subject.
Exactly.
And then they sit in the staff room. In case a student is stuck somewhere, they can access them easily.
Exactly.
So I'm assuming even in social studies, you have a personal relationship with your students. In case they don't understand anything, they can come to you and discuss with you maybe.
Very true. He just didn't tell you maybe other things that we do. In social studies, we encourage a lot of research. We have learners access the library, at least use of the internet. We have audiovisual where what we cannot get in reality, like we are talking about mountains in South Africa, we can't have that. We can use the audiovisual so that it is shown, the formation, like volcanicity, such things, in a video clips, where a learner actually understands more. In addition to the library where they go for research, we have the audiovisual. Then whatever they have gathered, they always come to us to get the authentic information, saying that this is what you've right, this is the information you've got, but we take this. So teachers are always available. The purpose of having one teacher in a class, actually you really learn the learners, you really get time to think for that class, and we do that. So that we have time to attend to them where they have not understood, the research they have made, because right now, any paper they find, it has questions, they are ready to attack it, they will come. Teacher, help me here. So we're doing so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm joined by another teacher at Global Junior School who will be introducing himself as well and tell us more about his preparation for the forthcoming examination. You're welcome. Please introduce yourself.
It's a pleasure, madam. I'm Odysseus Baguma, a teacher of English in Primary 7 at Global Junior School.
What does your role entail as an English teacher? Is there any other roles that you perform at this school?
Okay, apart from teaching English in the school, I'm also the head of department of English as a subject in this school.
Oh, for the primary 7? Or for the entire school?
For the entire school.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay,
Wow.
Now we all know English is the key subject. It is used to set almost every exam. How do you make sure your students are getting it? How do you make them understand in class so that they can perform in other subjects? Because it's the mode of examining in other subjects. What is your strategy?
Okay. When we're teaching this subject, basically we are a bit modern nowadays. We try as much as possible to make the lessons practical. You know, we use hands-on nowadays. As we teach in different aspects, we make our lessons practical. You know, we are using technology to explain different aspects.
How so? How do you do that?
These aspects, basically the topics in English, are actually from the environment. You know, for instance, we have the first topic. For instance, in Primary 5, we have the first topic as vehicle repair. Now, this topic, vehicle repair, we try as much as possible to make learning real. We bring real objects. For instance, vehicles are everywhere. We try as much as possible to bring tools used in vehicle repair. They are available. And these learners touch these tools. They get to know how they are used. And in doing so, they have to really learn wholesomely.
Yes.
And in the end, they excel.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in preparation for the final exam, what is your assessment method to ensure that your candidates are at par? For example, do you give them weekly tests, monthly tests, morning prep tests, night prep tests? How do you do it as an English teacher?
Okay, basically we give weekly tests to make sure that these candidates of ours are at par. Yes, please.
Okay. And so far, so good.
Yes.
Are you confident in your students to get the, distinctions?
We are very confident, madam.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Are there any other things you do in the English class that are unique to other schools, maybe? Your techniques that are unique. Is there anything unique you're doing with your class?
Okay, basically, for us, we group learners of mixed abilities,
Okay.
whereby learners who are maybe a bit weak are grouped with some others, with fast learners,
Okay.
so that they can be helped during some lessons.
Okay.
Then, apart from that, we revise with these learners through all the topics of primary, right from primary 1 up to primary 7. Remember, the primary living examinations are set from primary 1 to primary 7. The entire curriculum is considered. Topics from primary 1 up to primary 7 are all embedded in the primary living examinations.
Okay.
So what we do is to revise all the topics systematically. Yes, please.
Okay, so you're confident in your students.
Very confident.
Thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best in
Welcome,
your exams.
madam.
And to the parents, the Global Junior parents, I think you should all be content that your students are going to excel highly, because from what I've noticed, all the teachers are confident that their students are ready and set for this forthcoming examination. Now, welcome back. These are the students we've been talking about. I'm going to be engaging with them, and they're going to be telling me all about their preparation, their expectation, and how ready they are for the primary leaving examination. You're going to be telling me your names one by one, starting with you.
My name is Birunji Joy Rabina.
Birunji Joy.
Yes.
My name is Akalia Prabhakaran.
My name is Malem Avin Emmanuel.
My name is Nyende Gideon.
My name is Rakijima Ingrid Jayo.
My name is Draco Brian Jeremiah.
My name is Murechezi Solomon.
Okay, so I'm going to be asking questions, and you feel free to chip in. So I'm going to start with your experience. What's your experience as a candidate? Because this is your first time. You've not been a candidate unless you're repeating class. No? Okay, so what's your experience as a first-time P7 candidate?
Now, first I thought it was going to be scary, but the teachers here actually help us a lot. Like, they really help us more as people to grow, and I believe that we can actually do it with their help.
That's interesting.
Well, it has been a very good journey from the beginning. First, the impression from P6 really gives you a good background, just because the first impression you come with from P6. But then it's really fun when you keep on moving the teachers, you get to know each other one by one, and then at the end, it's just so bad that really
it's easy, huh?
I thought it was going to be scary, but when I reached, I found nice teachers. They explain to you when you want. They are free with you. I thought the teachers were really tough, but they go easy on us, and you also respect them.
That is so cool.
I came from primary 6 when I was so scared that being a candidate is so hard, but actually it's not that hard. And the teachers help us a lot and they are friendly.
Okay, that's good.
I thought, when I came to P7, I thought that I was going to be scared every time, running around. I used to fear the teachers, but the teachers are free with us, and I hope we shall make it.
You will.
First of all, I would first want to say that P6 is the whole reason why we are here. If we hadn't performed well, we wouldn't be here. And we thank our P6 teachers for giving us such a good expression of P7, and we are now here and we are feeling the vibe of it, actually. It's going on well right now for us. The teachers are very friendly and we are actually gonna nail PLE this year.
That's good to know.
I think when we all started, we were kind of scared because the experience that this is the last exam we're going to write, and then we're going to be leaving, and it has to be very good for us, or else, like, our whole future depends on it. But then when we actually came into P7, things have been chill for some time, and the teachers are so free with us, and we cooperate with them. There's no issues going on. We're all so free, and it's much better than what we were expecting in P6.
Okay, now, that's very interesting. The one thing I've noted is you guys are proud of your teachers and you're free. Your teachers are kind to you. They explain to you whenever they're available and whenever you need them. So my other question is, how prepared are you for this exam? Do you think you guys have the combat to face it?
Well, I think I have the combat. I think I'm strong. I'll make it.
I think I'm ready to get 4 aggregates in my primary living examinations.
Your parents have heard. Nyende is ready to get 4 aggregates.
Well, me too, I think I'm ready to get 4 aggregates because all the papers we are passing through, they are just preparing us. I'm ready.
Yeah, because your teacher has mentioned your syllabus gets completed in second term, almost. Third term is basically revision. Is that so? So you guys are sure?
Well, me personally, I know I'm going to get aggregate 4 because my parents didn't name me Solomon for nothing.
That's so true. And the ladies?
My ambition on this PLE primary is to get 4 aggregates, and of course I have to fulfill it by getting 4 aggregates.
We can't let anything stop us right now because we've come too far. We've worked too hard to have anything stop us. We are all prepared, and I'm sure we're going to bring back results that are going to make our school proud.
Ooh, beautifully said. Are you guys? Is any of you nervous? I remember in my time, before the math paper especially, I had an emotional breakdown. You know those shivers, like the pre-examination shivers. Does any of you have those? Or maybe it's not coming because it's not tomorrow. Is anyone scared?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I'm really scared. Just because the way they dress the PLE papers, they are papers, you have to do them with all your heart. Just because they are PLE papers doesn't make them seem so different, but just the picture we have for them just makes us get that fever.
Yeah. Very well said. I feel like it shouldn't feel like it's different. It's the same stuff. It's only because this is one that takes you to another level. Speaking of, are you guys nervous for secondary school? Tell me.
Well, secondary school is basically like primary school, but with older kids. There is no difference, actually.
Okay. What's your experience? How do you feel about secondary school?
I feel a little bit scared.
Why? You think they'll bully you?
Yes.
Let's pray they don't bully Nyende. You have to work on your personality skills and maybe go to the gym so that they don't do those things to you.
First of all, my experience about primary is that we're getting good food, good care, good attention. Now, when you're going to be set free for ourselves in secondary, that's my predictions of secondary.
You're not scared?
It's a lot in my heart. I'm like, how am I going to face all of those problems alone as a girl?
For me, I feel like secondary is going to be just like a restart of all of it because like when we left nursery to primary 1, we were the youngest in the whole primary, and then now we're going to leave primary and go to senior 1. We'll be the youngest in the whole secondary. So it's like rebuilding up in some way.
Is there any final message you guys would like to say to your viewers, maybe your parents or anyone watching?
Well, to everyone watching, we are trying to do our level best. All we need are prayers, and we promise not to let you down.
Well, me personally, I think that whoever is studying right now should, no matter the marks you get in your examinations, you should never care what anyone says, because my parents tell me, ignore the naysayers, something my mother grew up listening to from her mother. So they really gave me courage, because back in P5, I really wasn't a good performer in math. But right now in P7, I can speak knowing that I am going to get 100 in every paper I do.
We take it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I say that if there is any candidate watching me, don't give up. Just keep the zeal. You know you'll get a 4 if you are really working hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
To my parents who have been able to pay for me school fees to this level. I promise never to let you down.
The hard union day.
I just, first of all, I want to thank my parents who have paid for me school fees since I was a baby and right now. And I have a message for those children who are out there who are not feeling these tests. They should not give up. They should just get strong.
They should be confident in themselves, okay?
This message is for the children who are watching this. For primary 6 and primary 7 children, PL is not that hard. It's just like a stepping stone that will take you to a different level, and you need to work hard. And even though you don't make it, there's other levels that you can make it. So in Jesus' name, we'll surely make it.
Amen.
I believe that we all have the capacity and capability to make it. Even if it may not be now, it may be some other time later. We just have to have faith in ourselves and believe in each other.
Hey, you guys, it was so nice to have you. I wish you all the best in your exams and trust in God. Pray before you go into your examinations. Whoever you pray to, please pray. And believe in yourselves. Your school is so beautiful. Your teachers are so amazing. That should give you confidence to make it. Thank you so much.
I just want to say, Mother, Father, I promise I won't let you down. I'll do my best and I'll make you proud come January.
In Jesus' name. Thank you so much for your time. And that brings us to the end of this episode on Education Forum. Our focus has been preparation for the PLE 2023. We've engaged teachers, administrators, and candidates, as you can see, on how ready they are for this exam. We wish you success and wish them success here at Global Junior and candidates all over the country. I'm Maureen Bavidia. Stay tuned. Catch you next time.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.